The Dolphins are now on the clock. Let's go to Adam Schefter now, who has more to say about Young.
He's a Heisman winner that got a lot of recognition this season for not just dominating as a receiver, but also as a shutdown defender. His dual threat ability is rare to come by in the modern era of college football, and man, was it fun to watch him all season. He'll probably be focusing on just one position going forward, but the team has the benefit of making that choice based on its scheme and needs. He's going to be an interesting rookie to watch, and he has the potential to have a huge impact for this team early in his career.
The Steelers are now on the clock. The Chiefs are now on the clock.
Adam, what can you tell us about the Chiefs' newest player?
A tackling machine, he finished the season just as strong as he started it, recording double-digit tackles and wreaking havoc upon a helpless offense. This performance cemented his position as the #1 linebacker in the draft, and even had expert Todd McShay believing he deserved to be considered as the top overall defender in the draft, position agnostic. The biggest question for him now is, can he continue putting up gaudy tackle numbers in the NFL? His new team certainly hopes so.
The Rams are now on the clock. All right, let's go to Adam Schefter, who's got more on this pick.
This guy was a beast at the Combine. No other rookie pumped out more reps on the bench than he did. One scout told me the whole room of players waiting their turn were on their feet cheering him on. He blasted through 20, didn't show signs of slowing down at 30, and finished with just over 40 reps under his belt. Coaches came away impressed with his level of effort. The bench press is a good test of endurance, and he showed his ability to perform at a high level without slowing down. If he can translate what he did in the weight room to the field, he'll have an immediate impact on the team.
Late first round. I think I'm going to see what I can get for offers if I just trade it away. First 137, 13, 12, 122. Second round this year. First and second next year. Indianapolis is not going to be good next year either. Wonder if that makes the most sense. If I can get a second round this year. First round this year, but second and first and sixth this year, second next year. second this year. First and second next year. Second this year, first and second next year. First and second next year. I think Indianapolis is still gonna be bad, but I'm gonna take Dallas's offer.
Well, wait, looks like both war rooms are feverishly back on the phones. I think that means a trade is coming.
Pick's been made. Let's go to Adam Schefter to hear more about the player.
He's a receiver that started getting a lot of attention following an incredible all-star performance. He was always known as a reliable target, but he went above and beyond during the exhibition game, catching everything thrown his way. Even though he was facing off against some of the top defensive backs in this class, he was able to create separation and make plays after the catch. He followed the all-star game with great combine and pro day workouts, showing just how athletic he really is. I think we'll see him quickly grow into an NFL caliber receiver for this team through the course of the season.
Adam, what can you tell us about the Raiders' newest player?
He set a school record for touchdowns in a game, establishing himself as one of the biggest defensive mismatches in college football. His unique combination of size and agility had him rated by Matt Miller as not only the #1 tight end entering the draft, but also top 5 amongst all receiver prospects. According to Todd McShay, he's the type of player that could wreak havoc in the NFL, even being able to line up in the slot due to his elite route running ability. In a league that had seen its fair share of difference-making tight ends, it should be interesting to see if he's able to separate himself from the pack.
Now that he's off the board, Adam, why don't you tell us all you got on Johnson?
It's no surprise seeing him get drafted at this point, considering he was one of the hottest running backs in college this year. When's the last time he rushed for less than 100 yards in a game? If you check, it was actually 2 seasons ago, and that was due to a minor injury. The guy's a threat to take it to the house every time he touches the ball. And if he gets by that first tackle, watch out, because it's daylight from there on. As long as he can quickly adjust to the speed of the NFL,
I think he's got
he has
1
the
year left on
potential
his
to be a great
contract.
back
He's
for
still
this
in
team.
93, I think. Plus, I took a first-round quarterback last year, late, like the 30s, 20-something, 30th pick.
The
He was like an
Titans
80.
are now on the clock.
So, it didn't really make sense taking another quarterback at 9.
The Colts are now on the clock. Adam, what can you tell us about that last pick?
He came away from the combine with the Workout Warrior designation. It's a title that helps some sleepers become stars and some busts become, well, busts. The question was, which category did he fall under? Well, in his defense, if you look at his film, it seems to match up well with what he can do in the weight room. He's a physically gifted athlete and knows how to use it in games. If I had to pick out what kind of workout warrior he is, I call him Boom. We'll see if I'm right.
The Panthers are now on the clock. The Broncos are now on the clock. The Bills are now on the clock. Now that the Cowboys have made their pick, let's go to Adam Schefter to hear more about him.
Well, he hasn't gotten a lot of attention from the media. His name has been circulating around the front offices the past few weeks. To find out why, I spoke with Matt Miller. He told me his performance at the Combine caused them to go back and look at his game film one more time. And what they found was his team made a scheme change in his final season that forced him to shift to a new role he wasn't exactly comfortable in. To draw a comparison, they looked at his first 3 seasons before the change, and he looked like a much different player. The speed and level he played at matched what they saw him do back at Indy. He rose up draft boards across the league, and they're very lucky to have picked him up before anyone else could.
First round. I don't really need a first round wide receiver. I've got 4 good ones. He wouldn't play.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a trade.
The Jaguars have just made their pick. Adam, give us more on Garcia.
The foundation of any good team starts up front, and here's a guy who's a franchise's dream come true. GMs I talked to
I think I'm
pointed to several of his
pretty
games
happy
in college where he took
taking
on some of the
safety at
nation's
this point.
best defensive linemen, going toe-to-toe with them for 60 minutes of brutal trench
I need
combat
one.
and dominating them. He's going to be able to protect
Yeah,
the
he's a
franchise
good
quarterback
player.
in addition to opening up speed and strength. He should have a very
I'll just wait
successful
till-
NFL career.
Schefter shuts up.
All right, now that the pick's in, let's go to Adam. Adam, what can you tell us about this guy?
If there's one thing this defensive back is good at, it's the old bait the quarterback into throwing and picking it off trick. And he's not just good at it, he's great.
If I get
He set
his
the school
player
record for
recognition
interceptions in a season, and most of those interceptions happened when he baited the quarterback and forced him into poor decisions. He's also had his fair share of circus-style catches in tight coverage, the type of catches that even some receivers can't make. He may have a harder time picking off NFL quarterbacks, but his coverage ability is enough alone to warrant this team drafting him with this pick.
Well, Scheffner likes it.
All right, team is now off the clock. Adam Schefter, can you tell us about their newest player?
Sources have told me that it was his impressive college All-Star Game MVP performance that solidified his positioning as one of the most sought-after defensive backs in this year's draft. He has a nose for the football and a willingness to attack the ball as it's in the air. Instincts are a trait that simply can't be taught, and many draft experts have compared him to a young Deion Sanders. If there's one knock on him that I consistently hear, it's that he needs to work on his tackling mechanics and strength. One scout even showed me film where he was shown struggling to bring down bigger backs and receivers one-on-one. He'll be meeting with a team nutritionist and strength coaches in the coming week as his new coaching staff feels that if they can bulk him up a bit, he'll win those battles.
So slow though. Third round talents. It's getting to be about that point. It's early third round. He fits into my scheme. Yeah, it's just terrible offensive lineman.
Our very own Adam Schefter has more to say about this pick.
Yeah.
There have been plenty of incredible moments in college football history, but rarely do you see a game end in a safety. Late in the fourth quarter, his team was down, and its opponent was trying to run out the clock. However, he came hard off the snap, demolished two blockers, and crashed down on the quarterback before he even had time to hand off the ball. That safety was enough to give them the win and send his draft stock soaring. His raw strength alone was enough for this team to take a chance on him, and we'll see if he can develop into a dominant defensive lineman.
The Packers are now on the clock.
God, just crap out there. Third round picks, I like that idea.
I see both teams filling out cards. You know what that means? We've got a trade.
The Packers are now on the clock.
Well, if you're wondering what the delay is, I think we've got a trade coming here.
The Packers are now on the clock.
Man, there's just so hard to justify taking any of these guys.
The Browns are now on the clock.
God, just awfulness.
The Packers are now on the clock.
should just get this guy while I can. He's gonna be a good player. Maybe I reach a little bit, whatever.
The Lions are now on the clock.
No. He's gonna be just fine. Quick, yep. Boom. Alright.
All right, let's go to Adam Schefter, who's got more on this pick.
Successes and failures seem to go hand in hand during a very inconsistent season for him. Leading into his pro day, scouts expressed a great deal of concern over his inability to string together consistent positive performances. Those who attended came away extremely impressed with his raw physical abilities and footwork, feeling that with time and proper coaching, he could develop into a formidable NFL lineman. This pick may not pay immediate dividends, but it's a solid investment in the future of the offensive line.
The Rams are now on the
Nice.
clock.
2 in a row. Boom. Superstar 78 and a baby. This guy's gonna dominate. I'm gonna throw him the ball all the time. I get tight ends involved all the time. And he's just gonna catch a ton of balls.
The Packers are now on the clock.
This is where I dominate late rounds. Let's go. Let's go. Undrafted, but he seems to have better stats than some of these other guys. I think I'm gonna grab him. Let's go. 3 in a row. Come on.
The Packers are now on the clock.
No. No. He might be a good middle linebacker, I bet. How many middle linebackers have I taken? Any? Just one. He's gonna be amazing. I think that guy's actually gonna be decent. It might be just a bit too early. Wonder if he could play man. He could he's a little bit slow for a corner. I bet he could play corner though. You could probably play corner too. These guys will be worth taking a shot later at. I don't know what to do. He could probably play middle linebacker. I'm gonna take one of these guys, put him at corner. He can probably do it.
The Panthers are now on the clock.
I have to get his man coverage up. He's gonna be probably one of my later. He's gonna be like a, dime corner or something like that. But
The Patriots are now on the clock. The Packers are now on the clock.
think he's going to be my, I think he's playing middle linebacker, yeah. Let's see what we got here.
The Packers are now on the clock.
Meh. It's fine.
The Browns are now on the clock.
Not great. Not great.
The Packers are now on the clock.
Passing over that writing because I think there's another one that's in the 7th round that, yeah, this guy, I want to look at that guy as well. So I gotta start, I mean there's a bunch of dudes here that I think can make it, so I just gotta start drafting them, I guess, regardless of where they are projected to be.
The Seahawks are now on the clock. The Packers are now on the clock. The Steelers are now on the clock. The Packers are now on the clock. The Packers are now on the clock.
just, I'm thinking about just taking a flyer on him. I don't know.
The Browns are now on the clock. Let's go to Adam Schefter now, who's got more to say about the Redskins' latest pick.
His pro day was a chance to separate himself from the rest of the tailbacks in this class. After running the 40 in under 4.5 seconds and pushing almost 20 reps on the bench, I think he got what he wanted. Following that demonstration of physical ability, he transitioned into passing drills. One of the scouts in attendance told me he looked sharp on his routes and comfortable making catches away from his body. Personally, I think he made a strong case for being declared an every-down workhorse. Teams often have several running backs specialize in different areas of the scheme, but he's the type who can do it all. I like what he brings to this offense and look forward to seeing what he does.
The Browns are
But
now
his
on the clock.
awareness up, he'll be just fine.
The Packers are now on the clock. The Browns are now on the clock. The Packers are now on the clock. The Rams are now on the clock. The Packers are now on the clock.
I'll just take a flyer.
The Packers are now on the clock.
Meh. Speed is nice for a possession guy. He'll be pretty decent.
The Buccaneers are now on the clock.
Just same player 3 times. No, it's not worth it.